All right, this is the Secure and Govern UX team planning for August 29th, 2024. This is our new version, iteration of this process. So that means I'm not really sure how it's going to work. So we're going to try it out and see what happens. Compliance is already picked up. This is a yearly, so I don't expect Camellia to move out of compliance until she's done everything that makes yearlies happen. So she is one of the designers that will probably never be able to get pulled into something else. Just want to get that out there. After that, I wanted to just start going down. You guys can see my screen, right? Sorry, I should have asked that before. Okay.
Yep.
I want to start going down the list to see what's what. So the way that we're going to do this is each group has a priority. They put an issue in, they say they need it or it's nice to have, and then they say when they need it by. Those are all indicators of priority. So priority one, first indicator, need is another indicator versus nice to have. And then how soon this milestone is brings it up another level of priority. Okay. So what we're going to have to try and do is compare all of these three levels of need to each of the items that are in this table, and then see who ends up with the highest one. Does that make sense? Kind of. All right. But first things first, is anyone currently working on something in 17.4 that is listed on here that means they're going to end up having to finish it in 17.5?
Yes.
Some of these look familiar.
Yeah, the allow list stuff under secret detection. There'll be a little bit of work carrying over into 17.5. And then same with the security configuration UI vision. So there'll be some work that probably needs to continue on there.
Okay. Can you add your name? I also added a new column yesterday because I realized we need to figure out who's assigned to what at this table level.
Yes.
So I added the designer column.
I will add my name to those now. Once I remember how to use issues.
Can you also, yeah, these are also tables, HTML, so it might make it a little more complicated, but if you keep it in the WYSIWYG view, it makes it easier to edit.
Cool.
And then also add how much weight you think you're going to spend on it. Not what the total weight was, but what you think is left, so we can get an idea of how busy you're going to be.
Yeah, do that.
Becca, I think I heard you say yes. Yes, you did.
Yeah, that I haven't specifically chatted with Alana about this. It just seems like things keep coming up, depending on what engineering is getting to. So in terms of like what I want to drive, it's just about going back to the UX themes. But I think they're more nice to haves because it's not like engineering is waiting on these.
Okay.
There will be AI stuff. I don't know what exactly.
So this is just like, hey, AI trumps all, just letting you know it never goes away.
Right.
Kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you can keep yourself assigned to that. These other ones, probably not. Just looking at the rest of the tables, because you've also, you got nice to haves.
Oh, so we're only supposed to be assigning ourselves to it when we're committed to doing it in the milestone?
Right. right?
Okay.
Or you're already doing it. And it's going to bleed over from the previous one because you need to finish, right? I think that's one way to look at it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
If
I'll
you've already
remove that.
committed to it in a previous milestone, because we've already done these types of calls, it's slightly different now, but it's the same premise. You've already agreed to it in the current milestone. Work is going to need to get finished in the upcoming one. So we should put it on the upcoming one just to make sure we're aware of it. That's how I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Okay, so Michael, you're kind of spent, it looks like, with 9 points.
Yeah, and then I also have 5 points for visual design training in my own personal table down below.
Okay, so Becca is probably the only designer that could take something on right
I do have a 18-point capacity total, so 9 and 5, 14. So I do technically have 4 points.
now. Is that realistic? Considering
Uh,
MR reviews, and do you know how much work's going to be in the design thing? I know you put 5, but do you know? Have you done anything
yeah,
yet?
yeah, we did it this mile, or it's this past week was the first week for it. So this week is
Okay,
the second week. And so it's been about a day's worth of time a week, basically, is what I'm accounting for there. And then as far as the entire milestone goes, there's 20 days in the milestone, not including the family and friends day. And so I've given myself 18 points capacity. Normally I
okay,
give myself a point a day and I gave myself 2 buffer points. So
okay.
hopefully 4 extra points is realistic for 4 remaining
So you might be able
points.
to pick up a small-ish issue as well.
Yep, or get the ball rolling on a bigger issue, but maybe not fully complete it.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. That makes sense. Okay, Sarah, since you're here, what's your biggest, most important issue?
Yay.
Where are you?
Good reason to attend.
Yeah.
I think validity checks on secret detection is more important than dynamic analysis stuff. So yeah, basically it's related to risk-based prioritization. So right now, when we generate secret detection findings, they're all given a oh gosh, what's the severity rating? Oh, what's the highest severity rating?
This one?
Critical.
But
Critical?
they're all given the
Yeah.
same
Oh, I'm
reading,
sorry.
and
I was thinking issue
yes,
labels.
thank you. Critical, thank you. Critical, and there's no way to sort through what you should prioritize. And so this will at least give customers the ability to determine whether a secret is worth prioritizing. Like if it's not valid, they don't necessarily need to rotate it. So in a way, it's kind of similar to some of the other work that's been done, like EPSS, KEV type stuff, but I don't think we've determined in general where the data should be exposed. Seems like likely the vulnerability report, but maybe there's other places to expose it.
Okay.
And we've done a lot of
Hearing,
the back end work on it. So I think development will start soon on the back end stuff.
okay. Hearing that description and knowing what you know about it, Sarah, how big do you think this is?
I don't think it's huge. I think it's just an extra that's like, is the secret valid or not? And then expose that to the customer somewhere. Potentially, if it's going into the vulnerability report, which I think it probably should, then can you filter on it? So I guess there's some work there that we probably need to work with Red Insights to learn more about how do we get a filter added.
Okay, this
Okay.
probably makes sense for me to pick up then.
Yeah, it could
Also,
either
is
be
there,
you or Michael. Michael, how related is this to the stuff you're doing now?
yeah,
I'd say it's not like directly related to it. I mean, it's related to
Okay,
the secret detection world, and that's what I'm working in mostly right now. But
that's the only
outside of
connection.
that, yeah.
Okay. All right, so then I think it is a toss-up. It could go to either one of you. So let's keep that in mind. I know that Sarah's here, and that's awesome. but I don't want to stiff anyone just because this was too early or whatever the case.
I have a question. Does that need to show in the merge request, in the findings in the merge request too? Is that just something that's like added in the modal?
I don't think we've thought through it, but do you know if like EPSS or KEV is getting exposed there?
That's a really good question.
Have we even gotten to that design yet? I know that we were talking about you doing that, Becca, but I don't think you've gotten there, have you?
Yeah, I did. That was like 2 milestones ago. I've been chatting with John about that. Okay, well, if I take on that issue, I can follow up with John to see if I know that in the vulnerability record, we're listing KEV, EPSS, etc. So I imagine it would carry over into the MR. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think however that feature's handled, they're very similar in my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay, then Becca, I think it sounds like you're the right one for it.
Yep. Do you know if users want this to show in the table on the vulnerability report? Or is it just like, well, yeah, I guess if they want to filter by it, I'm pushing for like there being visual confirmation of the thing that's filtered by, so it would show up there. Never mind. I just answered my own question.
Always nice when it happens. Okay, I think the next stuff that needs to get accounted for, you said dynamic analysis isn't as important.
Yeah, I mean, we're still kind of determining what we're doing here a little bit. So I think, yeah, it's a priority for us, but I think we haven't fully scoped out what solution we're going with. So without that, then it's hard for the designers to get involved. But
Do you need a designer to help scope it?
maybe we're essentially trying to take logs whenever there's failures related to the analyzers and make it human readable. So there's two potential solutions we're looking at. One is to use the root cause analysis feature and to basically extend it. And then the other option is to just literally rewrite the log messages so that they're more human readable. But I mean, it might be helpful to have someone look at it with us from like a user perspective.
Okay. I would maybe call that like a 2.
So that need nice to have in a context like this, is it the feature is a need or nice to have, or is it a designer on this is a need or nice to have?
It is, it's a mechanism for us to understand priority.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like it's a need for in terms of like feature prioritization, but it's unclear if there's any designs needed.
Yeah, I probably should have put it as like a nice to have.
That's what I was like torn on it. I mean, if it's ready for build by 17.6,
Well, that's why I also wanted to check on that, because it sounds like it's not really necessarily needed for 17.6, because if so, then we need to figure out some of the design at 17.5. Like that's just the way it would go. Or we're okay with not having a designer and having you plus engineering figure it out, and we just mark it as I don't remember the label that we came up with, but UX deferred or something like that. Not deferred, UX, I don't remember the label, but something that says UX wasn't involved.
Yeah, I mean, maybe nice to have. I don't know. I guess up to your team how you guys want to handle it, but I think we need to do a little bit more like solution validation on our side, and then probably, I mean, I think it would be helpful to have someone look at it and just say, this is actually useful and an improvement. The way we're looking at some of the output from RCA today is that it's not as user-friendly as it could be. So we're looking to try to improve that.
Okay.
But it still feels a little bit vague. We're still doing a little bit of problem validation and solution validation. So
yeah, so I think if we say that this is a weight point of 2 in terms of the working with y'all to think it through, to hammer out the scope and the requirements, that we could probably find someone to pick this up, depending what happens when I scroll down to security policies. Okay, so this one's in progress. One customer. Yes, this makes me think that this is fairly necessary. Very minor improvement. Okay, so I think we need to try and find someone to pick this one up. What's going on with that? Stop. Stop. Oh, it's because someone already changed it. Okay, do it the hard way. Does anyone know anything about this one? Guessing no.
Unfamiliar.
You are? Or unfamiliar?
Unfamiliar.
Okay.
it looks like they have a front end issue that says when a security finding, well, they want to add custom roles selected to the policy editor. So maybe that's where they're looking for support.
Yeah, to this specific policy type, the merge request approval policy. Looks like they want to add custom roles to it. So you create the custom role in the roles creation UI. And then what do you do with it? Oh, so it just shows up in a list that I think already exists. Yeah, I don't think this has got UX needs. Is that what you meant, Sarah? Like this is a front end dev thing? That's what it kind of feels like.
2 issues in their Epic, and so, but it does seem like they already defined it, so I don't know.
I thought there might be a way to pick roles. Maybe that's the catch, is we need to add the option to pick roles in this UI.
I think in the approver type section, you can define roles and under
Roles.
actions. Choose approver type, role,
Ah, there you go.
user,
Thank
group.
you. So presumably, if they have the right permissions, this would show up, but this is everyone.
Yeah, you'd select instead of individual user, it would be roles, and I would assume the custom roles would show up under there.
Oh, I see.
So those are our
Yep,
default roles.
yep,
So you
yep.
probably just redefine this list to support custom roles.
Yeah, so this really isn't, this is like a one, you just give them a mock-up that shows what order that item would go in. Yep, good call. Thank you. I knew it was somewhere. I'm like, wow. All right, so that's relatively small. Who can pick it up? Actually, I think
That's
Becca,
it.
you're the only one with time. What were you going to say, Michael?
I was gonna say, I'm sure for a 1 point or 2 point thing, I'd have time, but if Becca has more capacity, definitely give it to her. Either's fine.
What
Yeah,
say you, Becca?
seems
Wasn't sure if
small
you
and
fell asleep.
no. I'm just thinking, I mean, the problem with this is like it's so much context switching, which is I just am gonna accept that.
Well, I understand that is definitely a concern with this process in general, but for this particular one, I don't think they're asking too much. You don't have to know much except
Yeah,
how a drop-down menu works.
there's not too much like requirements gathering and
Yeah,
finding research or anything like or conducting research. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I really wish it would just give me a link that I could click on this. Sometimes the WYSIWYG for multiple distinct approval actions and merge request approval policy. There's too much to read and understand this right now.
I can't even wrap my brain around this right now.
Yeah, I know. I think we're going to have to. I think this is the next one that might need to get picked up, but I feel like having Grant walk us through it a little bit would be beneficial.
I mean, if it's a need and I have capacity, you can put my name on it.
I think that there are reasons why it could be good for you to start to learn this area. Come on now.
My
Is it this slow for you all
GitLab had
too?
been taking forever.
Okay, not just me.
Yeah.
No, where's the center? Isn't there a center? Oh, I guess I did it. No, I didn't.
Why are the other ones formatted like that? How is that possible?
I know.
Okay, anyways, we're at time technically,
Yeah, we
so
are.
let's not worry about formatting.
So we're designers. It's just the way it goes. All
I
right. I think
know,
we've,
I know. I appreciate that. It's
I
gonna
think we've
bother.
covered all the needs. Reach out to the people that you've been assigned with and just ping them to get an understanding of really wrap your head around the stuff that we put you on that you're not used to being on. All right.
Yep.
Make sense?
Yep.
All right. Cool. I think this worked. So thank you.
Yep.
All right. See y'all. Have a good day.
Bye all.